The best way to begin a look into Jerusalem is right up here on the Mount of Olives. It gives you a fantastic perspective of the entire city. You'll look out and you'll see things like the Chapel of Tears. That's where Jesus wept on Palm Sunday because he saw the coming destruction of Jerusalem. Right below that, you'll see the golden domes, which are the church of Mary Magdalene. And just below that, you'll see the Garden of Gethsemane, where Judas betrayed Jesus and where Jesus was arrested. This area is very important because many Jews are actually buried here, over 70,000, because legend has it that the Messiah will appear from the east, come down these hills, go to the gate, the Golden Gate, by the city wall, and that gate right now is sealed, but legend has it that gate will open and the resurrection will begin. Inside that gate itself, you'll see the Dome of the Rock, and that stands on the Temple Mount. We're going to take you all through Jerusalem today and try to give you a perspective of this holiest of cities. Below the Mount of Olives grow 100-year-old olive trees in the Garden of Gethsemane. Nearby, the Church of the Assumption, where according to biblical tradition, Mary's body disappeared 3 days after her death and was assumed into heaven. The next logical step, Old City. We're going to enter the Old City through Zion Gate, the main entrance heading into the Jewish quarter. But before we do that, take a look at this wall because it was built in the 16th century, but the holes you see are from two separate wars, the War of Independence in 1948, as well as the Six-Day War in 1967. Come on inside and explore the Old City of Jerusalem. Overlooking the Western Wall, the holiest place in the world for the Jewish religion. What makes it the holiest place is the fact that it sits at the base of the Temple Mount, where the first and second temples were actually built. The wall itself spans 1,500 feet, yet there are designated areas where you can go down there and individually pray. Doesn't matter whether you're Jewish, Christian, Muslim, any faith can go there and pray. While political control of the Western Wall is constantly disputed, its importance to religious pilgrims is obvious immediately. Loud lamenting and praying by the faithful has earned the Western Wall the nickname Wailing Wall. On this day, though, prayers were calm. I'm not Jewish, but I said a prayer of my own before moving on. The Old City is divided into four quarters: the Jewish quarter, the Muslim quarter, the Christian quarter, and the Armenian quarter. As you wander the streets, you'll be able to follow the Stations of the Cross, and in this case, we're approaching Station 3, where Jesus fell for the first time. As we follow the Stations of the Cross, you'll see we came to this sign, Via Dolorosa, which basically means road of pain, which is the road that Jesus traveled on. And we're coming up on the station number 5, and that's where Simon actually helped Jesus carry the cross. Behind me is the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, or what's also known as the Church of the Resurrection. In there you'll find the final 5 stations of the cross, beginning with the 10th station where Jesus was undressed. Station 11 is where he was actually nailed to the cross. Station 12, where he was crucified. Station 13, where he was laid down after he had died and his body was prepared for burial. And Station 14, where he was actually entombed. Behind me, you'll see the Chapel of the Resurrection. There's an outside room that would have been a place where people would pray for the recently buried. Inside is the actual burial cave where Jesus was put to rest. Underneath the altar in this elaborate shrine, anyone can crawl to see the hole where, according to biblical legend, the cross of Jesus' crucifixion was raised. We had a wonderful time here in Jerusalem exploring the city as well as many of the holy sites. And now we're off to show you one more surprise before we depart. As part of our travels today in Jerusalem, we've learned about the Jewish National Fund. The Jewish National Fund focuses on three colors: brown for the land and helping reclaim the land, green for what you see behind me, the forests, and blue for water. It's been around since 1901, and people have been coming to Israel to have the honor of planting trees, which we're going to do today as our final thing here in Israel and here in Jerusalem. Over the years, they have planted more than 250 million trees, and I'm going to add to one of them right now. Now this tree will grow to approximately 3 meters, and it'll help fill in the underbrush here in the forest. And it's something you might really want to consider doing, because when you come to Israel, you explore all aspects of it, and this gives you an opportunity to leave something behind.